Also tonight, the long wait for justice in the Christopher Cummings murder case comes down to a sentence for the only person convicted in the case.
And for Cummings' family, it's not the closure they were hoping for, but it does mean a couple of dozen years behind bars for Rashad Dooley, who faced conspiracy and attempted robbery charges. The sentence coming nearly 12 years after the killing of the ODU student. 10 News Side's Chris Horn is following up for us tonight. Chris?
Tom, Rashad Dooley was the last defendant left, the only one convicted of anything in the death of Chris Cummings. He was convicted, but not for killing Cummings. But his father, James Cummings, called Dooley a killer anyway. The victim, who was shot 4 times, and the father of the victim, who was killed, embrace after the sentence was handed down. Rashad Dooley was just 18 when Chris Cummings was shot dead, and his roommate Jake Carey badly wounded back in 2011. Dooley got 25 years in prison Friday after he was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and 2 other felonies, but not murder itself. That mattered little to James Cummings, who told the court about the impact of his son's death. He referred to Dooley several times as a killer.
Maybe I shouldn't have called him a killer, but that's just the way I was feeling. I could not point to anybody else as being convicted for having anything to do with this crime other than him.
Charges were dropped against 2 other defendants. A third was acquitted on all charges. No one was ever convicted of killing Chris Cummings. Do you still consider this a success for your office?
The system has worked the way the system is designed to work, which is to make it difficult to convict people. I would have liked to have seen convictions on other cases. I will take what we got.
Carey ended up with several surgeries, PTSD, and a plate in his arm.
I'm glad that we got some justice for Christopher, though. You know, I struggled through some physical and mental issues, but the Cummings family was always, my priority.
Ironically, his father said Chris Cummings' last post on social media happened to speak of the afterlife, which to him was comforting.
It meant an awful lot to me because that, for one thing, that told me that he believed in God.
Defense attorney Eric Korsland says Dooley has maintained his innocence from the time he was arrested back in 2021, and he plans to appeal. Chris Horn, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Chris. And of course, you can see all of our previous coverage of the Christopher Cummings case on wavy.com.